Well, friends of the world, Maldini, here we are at the Metropolitano. Not long ago, we were here to comment on the Champions League match between Atletico and Real Madrid on Movistar. And today we are also here to comment also on Movistar, the Copa semi-final against Barca. After the 4-4 draw in the first leg. Wow, what a spectacular match we saw in the first leg. You already know what happened in the match. We're going to analyze it, of course. It's going to be a tremendous match, I'm convinced. It's probably Atletico de Madrid's last chance to win a title. Although mathematically they can still fight for it in the league, it's going to be very difficult. Let's see what happens, but what is certain is that you already know Fibers is the social network for football fans. It's the social network we football fans need, and I have great news for you. Because with Fibers you can go see the Barca Betis game next weekend in the league. Moreover, Fibers is going to raffle tickets for all Barca matches, including the Champions League ones. For all Barca matches, including the Champions League ones. What do you have to do to participate in the raffle? Every week? Well, it's very simple, as you can see here too. You enter Fibers, follow the Barca account on Fibers. You will have their account on Fibers, follow the Barca account on Fibers, and of course from there you comment on something. And you enter the raffle for tickets to all Barca matches from now until the end of the season. You are seeing here on the screen everything you have to do, which is very easy. I am hearing, by the way, the fireworks from the Atletico de Madrid fans, because the team is probably arriving now. What a match. Friends of the world, Maldini. Let's talk about it. Well, friends of the world, Maldini, the stadium is already empty. It's a bit later because we did a post-match show of about half an hour here on Movistar. I have commented up to the semi-final. We already have the Copa del Rey final at La Cartuja. Spectacular final. The great classic of Spanish football between Real Madrid and Barca. Barca and Real Madrid. Barca has made it to the final by winning, and they won well against Atletico de Madrid 0-1 with that goal by Ferran after the pass from Lamine. It was a spectacle, Lamine once again. It's true that later in the second half he had a knock and experienced a slight drop in the final stretch and he had to be substituted, but it was a spectacle to watch Lamine play. Let's break it down. Barca in the first half, I think, was very superior. When Barca, Atletico tried to press in the first few minutes, I think Chol tried in some way to make Barca uncomfortable and tried to press quite a bit on the exit. To Barca, and he did something. Cholo did something that didn't quite work out, which is a double fullback. Let's say he put on the left in front of the Reinildo to Juliano, and on the right he put Maldini in front of Azpilicueta. But in the end, Juliano on the left side wasn't quite working. He ended up changing him, and I think that made Lamine Yamal by removing him from that area. Juliano and Griezmann practically, I'll talk a little about Griezmann in the match later, practically couldn't work near the fullback, and from there he was quite comfortable. Lamine Yamal has been causing havoc. That's what Lamine Yamal does. He's been causing real havoc. Lamine Yamal, in that position on the right side, cutting inside, he delivered a fabulous assist to Ferran, who played a great match, by the way, and except for the first few minutes of the first half, well, the second half was very different. We'll analyze it now. Except for the first few minutes of the first half, Barca was very superior. As soon as Barca was able to get hold of the ball, Atletico eased off a bit on their pressing. Barca started to feel comfortable, began to combine, and started to sink Atletico de Madrid. And when Barca sinks you, you're lost. Firstly, because Atletico de Madrid practically had no ability to reach in the first half, speaking only of the first half. They didn't have the ability to advance from the back. They weren't threatening because they were too far back. So Barca loses the ball in attack, but they are positioned to recover it very quickly. This was the ABC of Guardiola's Barca. The ABC of Guardiola's Barca, press after losing the ball and quick recovery. Thus the opponent's ability is practically nullified. Atletico de Madrid, however, tried from the start to play long balls. They didn't want to play out from the back. I think that's why he hasn't been a starter. Lenglet, I think Lenglet should be indisputable in this team. That's my opinion. But Cholo decided that for playing long, Lenglet man was better for defending the area. And truly, in the first half, Atletico de Madrid was absolutely dominated by Barca, to the point that after scoring the goal, Ferran, after the weight of the girl, bad, there were 20 minutes where they were completely groggy. In fact, I noticed from here, from the Movistar commentator's booth, that Cholo was asking for halftime. He was desperately asking for halftime because the team was 0-1 and it was a good result considering how the match was going. Then, during halftime, Cholo adjusted the team and improved it. It wasn't enough, it didn't reach, but he improved the team. Before talking about the second half, I want to say a couple of things. Barca, I say it again, is the best team I have seen this season worldwide. The only team that can genuinely compare is Paris Saint-Germain. But I also have to say that in the second half, with that tactical change, by putting two wing-backs a bit higher, pressing a bit more, they were able, by taking a lot of risks, to significantly minimize Barca and make them quite uncomfortable. In fact, Solo came in to play long balls. They found him quite well from below too, and he had a couple of fairly clear chances. One certainly that stood out for me. The match, that ball Griezmann had all alone, and he sent it wide in a one-on-one with Szczesny. There were a lot of crosses from the sides. Sergei was very good, bringing down almost every ball. Flick saw it clearly. He's an outstanding coach. Flick is a spectacle, how he manages the games. He brought in Araujo, and from there he significantly slowed down the aerial options of the team. He brought in Flick Garcia to play with three in the midfield, with Flick Garcia, Pedri and De Jong a bit further forward. And there, little by little, Barca started to regain possession of the ball. And in the final stretch, except for the last 3 minutes, when it's true that Barca, more through sheer force than anything else, had a couple of set-piece plays, in the second half, in the final stretch of the second half, Barca wasn't as uncomfortable. They reappeared. Pedri reappeared. My hand reappeared at times until that blow, which later forced him to leave. Rafinha reappeared, and Barca once again dominated for many stretches, also in the second half. Barca is a better team than Atletico de Madrid. That is a reality that I believe must be acknowledged by Cholo. And surely he will acknowledge it in the press conference, but it's true that he managed with those changes, that in the second half, Barca was at least not comfortable. And they were quite close to being able to achieve a draw, that is true. Barca is a spectacle, Barca is in the final, Barca and Real Madrid as well are still in the running for the treble, with possibilities still to achieve it. Barca already has that Spanish Super Cup title. Madrid has the European Super Cup title, which they won in Warsaw against Atalanta, and the final is going to be spectacular. We will have time, friends from around the world, Madrid, to make videos about the final, the previews. I will be commenting on the match on Movistar, of course, at La Cartuja. We will have videos of that match a lot, but first we have the Champions League. And before that, we have the next weekend of the league. And many more videos that I have brought you from Mexico. The truth is that Barca is unstoppable. And I'm going to finish with one more detail. Tomorrow you will have the ratings, so you will see it individually tomorrow. Barca is a team that also knows how to suffer. They did it in Lisbon against Benfica with 10 men. They ended up winning that match. Today, in the second half, Atletico made them suffer for many stretches. Barca knows how to hold on to the result. It's something that in other seasons was much harder for them. They did it today as well and are in the Copa final. If we analyze both matches, for me, Barca has been superior and is rightfully in the Copa final, which is going to be spectacular, April 26th. There's still quite a bit of time left, but I already say that we're going to do many things. From Madrid-Barca, Barca-Madrid at La Cartuja. Spectacular Copa final that we are going to experience. From the Metropolitano for Atletico de Madrid, and now they are finishing a season that will likely end without titles. A month ago, they were contenders for everything, and right now, except for a miracle in the league, which is practically impossible because they are 9 points behind with 9 matches to play, Madrid and Barca would have to slip up a lot. Win everything, I think, practically. Atletico can also be ruled out for the league. So it's going to be a trophyless season for Atletico de Madrid. They've had good phases. They had a brilliant phase with 17 consecutive wins, but the team has been falling apart at times, competing well, but at certain moments under Cholo Simeone. And Antoine Griezmann, honestly, is no longer at the top elite level, which represents Atletico de Madrid. I say it because I believe it, and we've seen it too, and we've seen it in more matches. That's how it is. It's a shame. A hug, bye.